All right, there we go. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Just to make sure everyone is muted here. Um, Super duper thrilled that we are launching into September. So, welcome. If you've never been on one of our team calls before, welcome, welcome. I know a lot of us are sliding in a home plate here, jockeying kids back and forth to sports, but would love for you to hop in the chat. This is your very, very first team call. So, we are so thrilled that you're here. And if you notice that you have a friend or a teammate that was going to hop on, make sure you go message them and invite them to pop on and just remind them quick. I really want to work on increasing the attendance on these team calls every week because it is so encouraging, so important to be jumping on and getting a little boost for your week, a little shot in the booty for your Plexus business. So um, we usually just start off our monthly team call with wins and learns. So please blow up the chat with all of your wins, all of your learns. It can be big, they can be small. I mean, there's no rules in terms of like shouting out what happened this in the month of August. So we are launching into basically the next 90 days. I'm going to just call it the next 90 days because we have September, October, November, and 90 days is a perfect time frame to plan your next rank up. So regardless of where you're at, you just ranked up, or if you're kind of in between rank ups, it is totally doable to plan your next rank up in the next 90 days. So shout out as you're popping in the chat. Also shout out what your goals are, because the clearer we are on what our goals are, the more likely that we will be to hit them. And the goals need to be really clear and specific. So if you haven't thought about goals yet this month, start thinking in that way. We are big on goal setting on our team. And even if you don't hit the goals, you're going to be way farther ahead than if you hadn't set any to begin with, right? So, all right. Well, a couple of things I'll shout out really fast as people are just still hopping on the call. We had 176 new VIPs join the team in August. So kudos, congratulations, and welcome to all of the new people. We had 10 brand ambassador upgrades. And so that's exciting. We had 10 new senior silvers and 10 silver, or sorry, I'm totally messed that up. Five senior silvers, 5 new senior silvers, and 5 new silvers. And I was going to shout out a couple of the top recruiters in August. Becky Weaver welcomed 8 new VIPs. Katie Durand and Marie Sledge had 7 new VIPs. And then Fiona, Molly, Jenna, Katie, and Kirsten all had 6 new VIPs. And there was a bunch of you that had added 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and helped a friend, one friend get started. So congratulations, that's so awesome. All of you who are thrilled and excited about the Cancun trip, you just increased your credits by all that recruitment that you did in the month of August. So huge kudos to you guys. Also, I wanted to shout out, I totally forgot to do this on the earlier call, but Lisa Goodwin developed 2 silvers. Maylee also developed 2 silvers, and Desi developed a silver. So if I missed your name and you developed somebody, throw it in the chat. And then also I wanted to shout out Kirsten for developing 2 senior silvers this past month. Linda, Madison, Becky also for developing senior silvers. So proud of you guys. So please continue popping in the chat. There are 23 of you on the call and 5 of you that have popped in the chat. So if you're not driving and you're able to throw in the chat what your wins, what your learns, and what your goals are for September, please do that. It's always encouraging to see what everyone's working on and going for. Okay, really quick before I have Kirsten share, I wanted to just remind everybody if you're new, so is there anyone brand new on this call? Is this anyone's very first team call? I don't see anyone yet chiming in the chat, but in case someone is listening even to the recording of this and they're branding new, I wanted to remind you about the Rally Chat. There's a post every day that's posted on the One Team page that talks about Rally Chat, and that is basically a chat thread that you can get added to where there's like 4 things posted each day. So you don't ever have to like wonder where to source testimonies from. It's all right there. You don't have to go create your own story carousels. It's all right there, pre-created for you. Even if you create a lot of your own content, those of you who have been around for a little while, those are still great resources. If you have a really busy day or you weren't able to get to content creation, you can totally do that. Also, pinned to the top of both the One Team page and then the Momentum Makers group there's featured posts. So if you haven't checked out those featured posts, they're chock full of really good information. And I wanted to just draw your attention to that. And also we have a board for our team. So if you prefer to look at in a more organized, like little click on the folder type of way of learning about Plexus and launching your Plexus business, you might really appreciate our board. It's an app and there's a link to it in the featured post. So wanted to remind you about that. Also, if you are working on going gold, so you may be currently just starting your business, you may be silver, senior silver, or whatever rank you are, up till gold, we have a chat specifically for you. It's an accountability chat where every single day, every single week, we have opportunity for you to plug in and pop your income producing activity sheet there. And then we do these weekly calls. The top of the month is usually like a bigger team call. But then throughout the month, always on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., we have an accountability call. And it's for you, like basically to get coaching, to ask your questions, to hear some inspiration, to get coached, whatever that looks like. Each week, we're creating that for you to help you grow your business. So 7 p.m., set your alarms. We're wanting to like really encourage everyone to tap into some accountability. If you are above senior gold, so if you're working gold through senior gold, you'll be in the gold chat. And then if you are senior gold or beyond, you can be in our Ruby chat. So make sure you're added to one of those if you are not yet and you want to be in those. Also, there's an album each month posted for the month. So there's a September like graphics album on Momentum Makers and One Team. So I just wanted to remind everybody, you don't have to go like searching and floating around for graphics if you don't have like the Trello app or some of those other graphic resources. We have a little spot on the team page in the albums that's loaded with great stuff. So wanted to remind you guys of that. All right. Well, we have a special guest speaker on tonight. I'm so excited for you guys to hear from Kirsten. She is newer to the team and she is a fast starter. She has gone fast start senior gold and is working towards Ruby and beyond. And I just always love hearing from different people on the team, hearing their best practices, hearing what what's working for them right now. And here's the thing, I love learning from all sorts of people, and I love learning from people who are in the trenches and they're in it and they're making things happen, because my thought is always, instead of being like, there's two choices. You can either choose to get discouraged by someone that's like on fire, rocking it, has a ton of momentum, or you can choose to be encouraged and inspired and have a curiosity about you, wondering, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What are they saying that I'm not saying? Is there something about what they're doing to create what they're creating? And I would say 100%, they're doing something that probably the rest of us are not doing or saying. And so my question is always, I want to learn from those types of people, because there is something about what they're doing that's creating momentum. And sometimes you'll just hear one little tiny thing that you take away, like, I love that. I love what she's doing. I never even thought of doing that. Or maybe it's a little wording example or something that someone shares of like how they front loaded their month last month. We were sharing best practices on a Ruby call earlier, and I just felt like it was chock full of good ideas to go and implement and try. And I feel like every month is a new fresh start. So regardless of what last month looked like, or if you're brand new and you're freshly starting, then this is perfect. And the beautiful thing about not just a fresh new month, we have a fresh new day each day. So regardless of what yesterday looked like, hey, we can hit the ground running. There's still a few hours before we go to bed tonight. And also tomorrow is a fresh new day, fresh new start. So I just want to encourage you guys with that, to be listening and taking notes, because I am still learning. I love to learn. I feel like this business promotes continued learning, and we learn from each other, and we learn by doing. This business is the perfect avenue for personal growth. And you learn personal growth by just simply working your business. So Kirsten is going to share with us a little bit of her story of how she went senior gold, some of the things that she's learned along the way, maybe some top fears and some top tips for you guys. But we'll be kind of conversating back and forth also, so you guys kind of get a full, well-rounded picture. And so also Kirsten doesn't feel like she has to just do a monologue the whole time. So, all right, Kirsten, I always say your name wrong. I think of it as the American Girl dolls. I always called that little, the girl Kirsten, but it's Kirsten, right?
It is. It's Kirsten.
Okay, Kirsten. I got to practice that. All righty. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
So, am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
No, you're good.
Okay. Are you asking me questions or you want me to just kind of start from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just start and share your story, and then I can chime in questions as you are talking and sharing. And we want to hit, oh, I totally forgot to say this. Kirsten earned Icon. I think she's the first person on our team and the only person so far to have earned Icon. So that, if you guys are unfamiliar with what that is the incentive that Plexus put out at convention, and it's retroactive to June 1st through December 31st. And so the goal with that is to add 10 new level ones and develop 2 new senior silvers by the end of December. And Kristen has already done it, and she's like a month into doing this. So that's so exciting, and like a huge congratulations for doing that. So I think people are just curious, what are you doing? What's your story?
Yes.
All that good stuff.
Yeah. And Becky earned it too. Yeah.
Oh,
She earned
Becky, so
Yeah.
sorry. So sorry. Good
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah.
Becky earned it. So there's 2, right? Unless there's been a third that slipped in there somewhere. So kudos. I know there's lots on the verge of earning it too. So keep rolling on that, you guys.
So I guess if I could just like make something really short and sweet, but I don't do well with doing that, I would say just staying consistent has been the number one reason why I feel like I have been so successful. Like you talked about discouragement. I know Melody posted something not long ago on discouragement, and it happens to all of us. I feel like we all do get discouraged. For people that don't know who I am, I started using Plexus products back in January and did not decide to start sharing until the end of April. I think it was actually April 17th. And so from April 17th to today, I went fast start gold and then actually skipped a month where I did not get senior gold immediately. And then the next month I got senior gold, I think in June. Um, so there was that little there month there where I just kind of maintained gold. But um but I will say in that month it did stink that I did not continue like ranking up and get the senior gold rank. But I had to just kind of back up, regroup, and just stay consistent. Like, I mean, just when you think people are not um watching, they are. And I just think that just the people that I have signed up new VIPs, even within the last couple of days, like the last days of the month in August, it just goes to show you the people that reached out to me, that texted me, messaged me, or people that had not been interacting with my post, had not commented, and they were like, I've been watching you. Okay, I'm curious. Give me details. And no joke, those were 2 people that I signed up, new VIPs, on the last day of the month. So I just feel like staying consistent, it really does pay off for sure. As far as like the icon, I had already, I think, qualified for like I had the 10 new VIPs, but I did feel like getting 2 people on my team, senior silver, was going to be hard and a stretch, and it was. It was difficult. It was hard work. It was not easy. But I will say that my mom being one of them, and then one of my good friends being another, us having like mutual friends, mutual coworkers, and a church family, or just knowing mutual people, that did help because I was able to kind of be like a 3-way with them and get people, instead of me just signing them as a level 1 under me, help get those people that my mom's already friends with or we grew up together, help get those people underneath my mom to get her to senior silver. And the same thing with one of my good friends. There were several people we signed that we graduated high school together. So it was just kind of like a group effort. But I am proud of both of them for sure for that, and thankful, that I was able to do that to get Icon, because that's awesome.
So tell us a little bit about what you have been consistent with. There's some people that are chiming in on the chat that this is their very,
Oh,
very first team call. So
uh-huh.
excited you guys for being on. So they might be curious, like, well, what are you actually doing that you're staying consistent with?
So I'm always posting for sure. Like I know we feel like, and if especially if like this is something new, like I've never done network marketing ever in my life. So some people may have come from a different company or tried to do something like this, but I haven't. So I know at first I felt like, oh my gosh, I am probably being annoying. Like I feel like I'm probably like they're like another post really, but now I don't really care. But also I don't think they really are. I don't think we are blowing up their feed. But if we're not, we should be because that's how we're going to get seen. So I feel like just that even just that one post a day, it's almost like not even I don't want to say not enough, but I do feel like we constantly I do feel like if I'm posting constantly, I'm in my stories as much as I can, just like videoing something just like my daily life. That is that's very important. And then another thing, staying very consistent with messaging. I did right off the bat, and I think this is different from like I know I've talked with Becky in the past where when she said she first started, she wasn't as just like straightforward or direct with just like cold messaging people. And like everybody's totally different. Like some people may not start off just doing that. That was something that I did do right from the get go. I just started messaging people like, hey, I don't know if you've seen my post, but I have been on a new journey. I have found supplements that work. I had problems X, Y, and Z, and I would love to tell you more about them. And I did get a lot of people that responded that. Honestly, I don't think I had ever even talked to in my life. I don't even know how we were friends on Facebook. So that was exciting. Now there were people that did not respond. There were plenty of people, or there were lots that would just say no thanks, not interested, and that's fine. It at first I think it was kind of like a little bit of defeat. I felt a little bit of defeat, but now I'm just kind of like, oh well, they'll come around, or they might not. I don't know. And then another thing is, I know you have stressed it. I know Melody has, Becky, um, Mary, everybody that I talk to pretty much daily. Um, the follow up being so important. It really is because I have been working on one person since I started in April and consistently. I kind of gave her a little bit of a break, I guess you would say, for about a month back in I think it was June. And then I decided why not? In August when I think it was middle of August, I thought, you know what, it's not gonna hurt to message her again. And we went to college together. So I just was like, you kind of have to read the room. You have to read the person, like how much can you really keep pushing this person or do you have to give them space and let them come to you? So we actually lived together 1 year in college, so we were pretty close. So I just messaged her again and I was like, hey, like we've got this going on. I think it would be a really good time to jump in. I'm just waiting on you. Like we've talked, like I already know what you're interested in. I know what your goals are. Like let's just do it. And she texted me back and she said, you know what, I actually saw your post today and I'm ready, send me the cart. So and that was probably like the fifth time I'd followed up with her, if not more, honestly. So I think just and again, it's just being consistent.
Well, and we talked about this on the well earlier on the call, and then 2 weeks ago when I was chatting on the Ruby call. Uh, it's consistency, but the undercurrent underneath all of that is fueled by belief. And it's actually the magic sauce that makes consistency work. And so you can be religiously consistent doing the same thing over again and be like, wah, wah, I don't have anyone wanting to sign up. I don't want to have anyone, nobody messaging me back, like all this negative stuff. And because the difference is because it's if you don't have in belief infused into everything you're doing and a vision for what you're creating, just doing the bare like the rote I did my AP like IPA sheet, I checked it off the list, like that's different. That's different. That's like religiousness applied to business that doesn't produce fruit. Well, I mean, I still feel like there's still the if you can stay consistent, even if you don't have always the best mindset or you don't always have everything perfect in the background, like even if you still can stay consistent, you will see growth. I think the thing is that most people don't stay consistent for very long with the wrong mindset. So most people don't create much with a bad mindset. And so the mindset piece, the vision part, the clarity of what you're wanting to create and why, and just the belief that these products are amazing, the business opportunity is incredible. And so that infuses every single message that you send. And so, and behind all of that is energy. And I would actually like all of you guys to do an audit. We did this earlier on the call, but I'd like you to all do an audit of your energy on a scale of 1 to 5. Where is your energy? Where has it been the last month? And I would basically guarantee you the reason why Kirsten has created what she's created is because her energy is a 5, and her enthusiasm, her passion, her excitement, like that's palpable. Like people can read that through a voice message, through a little text, through a what she called it, a cold message, or just like a initiation reach out. People are more attracted to the people that are making things happen and that are excited, and they're believing in the possibility of what will happen. And it's not even that they have all the proof right now. I mean, I look back in my journey thinking, I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew 1,000% that these products could change people's lives. That like 99.9% of the population needed what we had. And so it was just a matter of contacting them and letting them know what we had. And then the choice is theirs. So, but I think the backside of that is when you don't have belief in the products, you don't have belief in yourself, maybe you don't have belief in network marketing, you don't have belief in the company, you couple that all together, and then you try to send messages, like it's going to kind of fall flat. Right? Versus if you know what you believe, and you're totally moving forward with that assumption. I specifically remember thinking people are going to come back and thank us for sharing this with them. And I know that this could totally change everything for people and for our lifestyle, because I knew even if a percentage of the people that need this get started, like that could be massive, that could be huge. And so you have to proceed with, yes, the consistency, but also the belief. I wanted to highlight a couple of things that Kirsten shared. So the consistency things that she's staying consistent with is posting. 1,000%, if you're not posting consistently, don't expect people to know what you're doing or to come to you. And you can't post one time and expect to sign 20 people up as customers. Like, I mean, the reality is only maybe 5-10% of your entire Facebook feed even see a post at any given time. And so I'm recommending minimum 2 posts a day. If you want to rank up, if you want to grow your business, you need to be posting 4 times a day. Now, hear what I'm saying when I say this. I'm not saying go post 4 Plexus posts a day, but I'm saying post half. Do 2 live posts, 2 Plexus posts, and half of the Plexus posts need to be business posts. Okay, so you're going to have to get intentional with your social media if you're not, posting. And again, it goes back to what you want to create and all that. But I would say if you want to do this as a business, you want it to pay you like a business, you're planning to rank up, then that means you're Johnny on the spot with a marketing piece. Because this is networking and marketing. And if your marketing game is subpar, you're not going to attract the people. Because there's 2 sides of the coin, right? There's 2 pieces to the puzzle. And to me, the marketing piece, the social media piece is the easy part. Like you can use rally chat content, you can go live, you can share your story, you can share someone else's story. You can also show what you're doing in life, like post pictures of the kids or the birthday party, or whatever is going on outside of your Plexus business. Show that too, right? And the goal is to drive engagement. You want to be posting and engaging with people. Get content that people want to engage with, and also engage on the posts. Like as people are like saying, "Oh, happy birthday," or asking, "Oh, cute kitchen remodel. Like where did you find those appliances?" or whatever. Like you're engaging in all the comments like a normal human, right? So anyways, reminding about posting. And also you have to decide that you don't care. Like you're not going to care if you're popping up in people's news feeds, because the right people are going to see your posts. And and that's the goal with posting, is to get attention and to attract attention to what you're doing, what you're saying, this business opportunity, these products. And so the goal with posting is to garner attention. Remind me. And number 2, she talked about messaging. And so again, you can't message one person and expect 10 people to say yes and join your team. Like it's going to take a lot of posting. It's going to take a lot of messaging, but you got to get the word out there, right? We don't have a brick and mortar business. And so you have to, you're your own business card. And I know when I started Plexus, I wasn't out and about. I was home with 5 small children. And so the ability to grow something like this over social media was very attractive to me. And so I was like, okay, just tell me what to do. I mean, I can make 4 posts today. That's fine. I'll show what we're doing in life and I will share about Plexus too. That's so fun. But let me talk a minute about what Kirsten called cold messaging. Some of you may have heard that word before, and some of you may shudder when you hear that word. Some of you may have no context to even have an emotion about it. But what I like to call it is just initiation messages. And the reason why Kirsten is successful is because she has not held back from contacting people and letting them know what she has. Now, she's not messaging them expecting to close the deal on the first message. She just is opening up. She's just like offering and opening up the conversation. And you have to remember that this is what we do. Like your business runs off of conversations, and it's just going to take sheer numbers. And you're looking for people that are open. It's honestly a giant filtering process. You cannot have emotion. You cannot be emotionally attached to the outcomes of who says yes and who says no. Now, I understand when you're starting out and it's like your closest friends and family, and you have expectations of those people, and those people may be the last ones or may never be the ones to support you in your Plexus business, and you have to get over it. Like you just have to get over it and move on. You're basically offering, kind of like a waitress offers coffee. You want coffee? No, it doesn't mean anything about you. You just have to offer it. The people that are interested, they're gonna let you know. The other thing with letting people know far and wide what you're doing is that it plants the seed sooner than later. And you don't want to wait 2 years to message people that you think would be awesome at this business because you're assuming they're going to see your posts or something. You want to message them right away, because sometimes there's a gap from when they learn about what you're doing to when they say and see it for themselves and say, hey, yeah, actually, I want in on what you're doing. And I totally agree with Kirsten that you have to read the room. Like you can't message someone that you haven't talked with in 20 years like you do your bestie sister next door. Like someone that's really close to you, you can be like, girl, you need to do this with me. Just, you need to do it. Like you can be a little bit, silly and a little bit, I don't want to use the P word, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like you can be way more, just like, hey, you need to do this with me. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? So but you have to be just cognizant and use your own intuition when you're talking with people, because your bestie that you see 3 times a week is not the same. That's not gonna be the same message that you send someone you haven't talked with in 10 years. You know what I mean? But you can still talk to that person that you haven't chatted with in 10 years, but it's more of like, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, but I'm just letting my network know. I'm letting all my Facebook friends know today about these supplements that have changed our lives, or about this business opportunity that I'm super excited to share. Curious if you'd be ever open to a conversation about it. Boom, done. It's easy, simple. You're just planting the little seeds. And then, like Kirsten said, the follow-up piece is so, so important. She did answer that question. I know someone chatted in the comments asking how often to follow up. I think it depends on the person. It depends on how well you know them, and how well you know them and how you know them. And if you're going to see them in person or not. Like if I message someone and then they don't reply back, and I know I'm going to see them at church on Sunday, sometimes I'll just keep in mind like, oh, I need to check with them and make sure that there's no weirdness. You know what I mean? And then there's maybe other people that you don't want to message, that you want to pick up the phone and call, like your sisters or people that should be the people to get a phone call instead of just like a text. I think you all know those people. But I would say in terms of the following up, one thing that I love to do when I'm following up is just to say, hey, if you're truly not interested, like you 1,000% not hurt my feelings. It will just help me know whether I should keep checking back with you to see if this is something that you want to try or something that you would want to do with me. Or if I need to, just take you off my follow-up list, like no worries whatsoever. But I'm doing this as a business now, so I'm trying to be faithful to my follow-ups. I mean, depending on the person, you can kind of explain that, but I like to hear a no. If they're not interested, I want to hear the no. Like, just tell me the no. And I know Brandy Hutchins was a cold reach out contact for me. Jessica Heffley, just on a random whatever day of the week it was, 2 years ago in July, was like, hey, go message 5 people. So I was like, all right. And it's like scrolling Facebook. It was like, okay, I've never talked to her about Plexus before. Boom. And I sent her, is it a 17-second or 28-second? I can't remember. Voice message. We've passed around so many times. It was super off the cuff, simple. Hey, I know we've never chatted before. No idea if this would be a fit. Just basically said these supplements have been such a blessing to our family. Curious if you'd be open to it. And if you're not, no worries at all. She said that caveat that I put at the end, she's like, that sealed the deal. She's like, because I knew that you weren't attached to the outcome. If I wasn't interested, you didn't care. But she was actually in the market for switching a supplement line. And she said, yes, it literally caught her at the right time. She said, yes, wasn't interested in the business. 6 weeks or whatever it was, 2 months later, she was like, hey, I'm actually in love with these products and I'm totally going to sell them. and then we started in on the PLLP. So anyways, all that to say, Kirsten was saying stay consistent with posting, stay consistent with messaging, and then be consistent with your follow-ups. I love that. And then you also talked about getting creative with developing silvers and senior silvers and you doing it as a group effort. Do you have any fears that you feel like have been overarching as you've started that you've kind of had to work past?
Yeah, and I think I've said this on a previous call too. Like, I'm a people pleaser, and so I guess I do have fear of people not seeing results as fast as they want to, especially in the world that we live in right now, where you can have instant, almost instant results, and we want instant gratification, and just we want it right now. So I do have that has been a fear of mine, and we can't please everybody, and I have found that out. It's still a hard pill for me to swallow, but that is something that I have struggled with. um I do feel like even myself, I need to like watch on repeat the retention videos that we have, because I mean, even I have signed a lot of people up under myself in the last 5 months, 4 or 5 months. But I do feel like even if I have followed up with them and I have tried to provide like the most or the best customer care that I could possibly provide, I still have been ghosted by several people. And I know that's going to happen, but that is still a struggle for me. Just like getting past that. Um, I guess those are my main struggles. Yeah.
Mhm. So, like, the thing is, I think sometimes we expect that when we do something like this, that we won't have any struggles. And the reality is, this is a whole big learning curve. Like, it's actually an industry with a ton of skills that you learn. And some of us maybe came into this with some previous skills and experiences in network marketing or something similar. And some of us literally are starting from the ground up. And so it is normal to have fears. It is normal to have unmet expectations. There's always going to be things to be working on. But I think at the end of the day, we have to remember we're working on doing our best, pursuing this stewardship with excellence. But at the end of the day, knowing that even with the perfect follow up or the perfect setup or whatever, there's going to be people that don't stick with it, that ghost you. And it's not necessarily always about the perfect wording. I think that there's a lesson to be learned about just like blessing and releasing. If you've done all you can to help someone, like the ball is in their court. At some point they have to choose whether they're going to stick with it and be disciplined and continue, or if they're going to do something else. But I do love something that Fallon mentioned on a training call, and I think it was a December training series. But she said, I have really great retention because I stick with people so much, and I say, okay, if not this, then what are you going to do? Which I understand. In order to have conversations like that, the people have to be conversational, and I have my fair share of customers that just decide not to communicate with me. But I think there are a couple of things. One, going back at any point just to find out their red dot. Hey, I am just following up with customers today, trying to figure out, trying to or wanting to hear your product experience, the good, the bad, the ugly. Share it all with me. I would love to hear. And then also let me know kind of where you're at. Like, do you want to continue? Are you thankful for the time you had to experience this? Like, and then wanting to be done, just let me know where you're at. So that's my big thing. So I always want to know people's red dot. I want to know where my customers are at with their products and with their experience. Because if they're not having the experience that they want, then I want to help troubleshoot. And I think stepping into that role as like kind of health coach and taking on that mantle and owning that is half the battle, because like that's what we are really. We got become people's little health coach and accountability partner. And one thing I love doing is like in between when they order their products and when their products come, get them tracking something. Ask them like if they'd like to track their steps, their sleep, or their water intake. Just something simple like that. Even the simple things where they're taking ownership and a little tiny baby step in the right direction in terms of tracking something that has to do with their health outside of just, taking their supplements. The other thing I was thinking about with what you were saying with customers, let me think if I can get it back, is just lost my train of thought. I think, the picking up the phone. Sometimes I think just picking up the phone and calling people to find out where they're at. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just a swing around to those customers and seek to provide the best experience that we can provide them. But at the end of the day, the ball is in their court to stay consistent with the products and things.
I will say one other thing too, and just quick, but another, I guess, fear in my mind over the last couple of months was finding someone to run with me, because you guys talked about like for several months since I started that you will find somebody that's got the vision like you do and that will want to run this with you. And when you do, it is going to be fun and, so on and so forth. And I'm like, well, when is that person going to come? And like, I mean, I still want that person and those people, but I will say, if you're feeling like me, yes, Mary, you found me and I'm thankful for you. But if you're like me and you're like, I am managing 50, 60 people on my own. This is like overwhelming, and like I want someone to do this with me. Like, one, is that going to make it a little bit easier? Yes and no, because I thought that it would, and it did in a way, but at the same time it didn't. But I have a couple of people that have, I guess, somewhat caught the vision, not exactly like I did, which is totally fine, but I have a level 2 that has, and she, I think, is going to be great. So, and she's not on the call tonight, unfortunately. I was hoping she would be on. But if you are there and you are like, when am I going to find somebody to do this with me? Like, you will find people, and me finding one or two people has given me, like, I guess, like a little bit of hope and motivation. Like, they are out there. You are going to find people to run this with you. It is going to just take time. So,
100%. Oh yeah, and it's a filtering process too, because you're looking. I mean, it takes bringing in the new and looking for the few, because of how this is structured. A lot of the people that will come in are coming in as a product experience person, so that they're going to be customers. Some of them are going to stick around for the long haul, and some of them won't. And it's okay. It's the filtering process of that, and then from there, we're also filtering to see who is going to love their product experience and then want to share. Or, we always encourage everyone to be, reaching out about the business as well, so that you're bringing in people for the business opportunity. And when you bring people in for the business opportunity, it's a lot easier and faster, from the get-go, if they are having a vision to build, grow an income, versus waiting till their product experience, is to a certain point and then they start to share. And there's a lot of people, like I would say the overwhelming majority of people on this team, started for products, not for a business opportunity. Some did, some started for business, but the majority started as customers, loved the products, and then decided to share. So I think it's just keeping those things in mind. Like, you have to keep the faith and continue sharing, because you do end up finding the runners. And sometimes you'll find dabblers first, and maybe some people that are just more hobbyists, and that's fine. And then, but we're looking for people that are leader types, that are driven, that are motivated, that want to grow an income, and all that good stuff. So, any last quick tips, Kristen, for people that are wanting to do what you've done? Okay.
just do it. Just do it.
There you go. All about taking the action. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. If you have to pop off and go attend to your littles, feel free. But I just have a couple of extra things to share really fast, and then we'll pop off. But I wanted to remind you guys about the September incentives, if you didn't catch those yet. They are posted on the team page, but they're for new VIPs, there's dollar membership, and then there's free shipping for 3 months. So make sure your people know about that. We'll be talking about that, promoting it. Again, there's an album on the one team that you can go snag the graphics for, so you can use those and put them in your stories. Pop those income fast start graphics in your stories. You just never know who's going to be looking at your stuff and who is praying for a business opportunity. So reminder to be talking and using that content, and also use it as a springboard to talk about the business in your stories live. In the seasons where I have been very intentional about talking about the business, that's when business builders have come. And I would say all of us like it when people come to us. So the more that you are sharing what you're doing, sharing what you know, talking about it just super naturally in your stories and on your Facebook posts and things like that, the more you're going to catch the attention of those people that are looking for you. If you need some examples of who to follow, Jordan Roddenberry has been on point with her posting about the business, and Marianne Anderson. Both of those two girls are always talking about it. And so sometimes I'll go, if I need some inspiration of like what to say or what to say in my live video, go watch those girls. And then, take some notes if you need to, and then go live. And also don't overthink it. Just share your perspective. That's what is going to resonate with people that are following you. All right. Also, we are kind of talked about this already, but the Rising Leaders Retreat contest kicked off September 1st. And if you recruited 3 or 6 people in August, you also got credits, kind of pre-credits, which is fun. So this contest goes from September 1st to December 31st. There's double credits all month long for personal enrollments, which is huge. And if you don't know about Leaders Retreat, like this contest is honestly like a top sales incentive trip contest. Okay. So the name of the game, people are like, oh, tell me the strategy. What are the strategies? I'm like, go recruit people and go develop the developable. Like that's the extent of what my strategy always is, because you can line out like multiple scenarios of like how to earn the contest, how to sweep the contest, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's going to go back on how many people are you recruiting every single month, and how many people are you helping to develop to silver, senior silver, gold, and beyond, right? So those pieces are core foundational pieces for what you're going to build your business on. And so they're incentivizing us to go take those action steps and do those activities. And it totally coincides with Icon. All right. So if you are new, and Icon is new to you, we already kind of talked about it, but Icon is running from this June 1st to December 31st. You recruit 10 level 1s and develop 2 senior silvers. And if you've already hit your 10 level 1s, keep going. Keep going, continue recruiting. Just because you've hit your 10 doesn't mean like your quota is filled. You actually need to continue recruiting to find the people that are going to go senior silver. Because newsflash, they might not be on your team yet. They probably aren't on your team yet. Even if you have 1, or if you get a couple people to silver, it doesn't mean that those people are also going to go senior silver. So continue sponsoring, continue recruiting new people, because that's a huge piece to earning Icon. Okay. All righty. Okay, I think that's it. We have our work cut out for us, you guys. There's plenty of things to do. Are there any quick questions? Double credits for new brand ambassadors still. Yeah, doubled credits for like the whole month for personal level 1 recruits. Yeah. Any other quick questions?
Hi, Megan. Was the dollar membership still good for a while, for a part of this month
Dollar membership is for September. I'm not
or
sure.
September? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I want to give Joanne a little encouragement too, if you don't care.
Sure.
This just last week and this week, I have one girl that actually stopped her products, and just this week she's thinking about getting back on and wanting to work the business. And 2 girls that I have been talking to for the past year have messaged me wanting samples and are interested in getting started too. So don't give up. there's always hope. There people are watching.
1000%. Yeah, totally agree with that. And I liked what you shared in the comments too. Let's see, I think it was Joanne's. Yeah, how many times you follow up with the same person and how often. And I'll just say this for the recording. You said, I follow up weekly, asking questions about their problems, what they want to change, their concerns. I do have several for the last year that haven't signed up yet, but still reaching out and asking questions. So don't give up. It took me 4 years to say yes. Well, it took me 2 or almost 2 years to say yes. So I think we have to be mindful that people are in different spaces and seasons in their life, and you just have to be consistent and continuing to do what you're doing, and you just never know when the timing's going to be right for them. And a lot of times they haven't said yes yet because they don't have enough information. And I feel like there's so much more information that's available now than when I started. I feel like, the twice a week calls, there's a business call, and then there's a product call. Like every single week you can plug people into those so they can just learn more. And so a lot of times people say no because they don't have enough information. And so I think exactly what Mary's saying about asking questions, I actually have the questions saved in the notes in my phone. And the symptom questions that I ask every single time is, do you have any constipation? Do you have diarrhea, belly bloat, seasonal allergies, sugar cravings, or indigestion? That's the rinse, wash, repeat questions I ask every single time. And then I like to ask specific questions like, how much weight do you want to lose? If they tell me they want weight loss, or ask them specifics about like their bathroom habits. If they're being really vague, if they, ask them if they're on medications, find out if they're on any meds, find out if they're allergic to the caffeine. So ask lots of questions, find out what their pain points are, and really, lean into what their pain points are so that you can help serve them better. So yeah, question asking is a huge piece of this. And then your sponsor, it's floating around everywhere, but the Candida graphic, I use that all the time so that I can just have people pinpoint what specific symptoms they're dealing with. And then that gives me a better idea of what to recommend based on their health goals and their health symptoms that they're dealing with. So, all right, good, thanks. Okay, well, we all have our work cut out for us. So if you haven't met your 4 posts a day quota yet, you can at least get 1 in before you go to bed. And then I would just challenge you guys to chime in and tap into our daily accountability. We have those chats available and little income producing worksheet to work from, so you have the recipe of what you need to be doing to work your business every single day. If you want to move the needle forward, if you want to grow an income with this, you have to be taking specific actions every single day and not leaving anything out of the recipe. Otherwise, the cookies won't turn out if we're leaving certain things out. So lastly, the last thing I'll just leave you with is inviting you guys. I lost my little sheet with my homeworks. Oh, gracious. I just, oh, here it is. It's on the other side. Okay. Okay, I'll leave you with this and then I will share my homeworks. I would invite you, if you are a believer, I would invite you to partner with the Lord in your business. I know we talk about this a lot on our team, but it goes without saying that the scripture that came to my mind earlier is that scripture out of Psalms that says, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build it. And so I would invite you to invite the Lord into your business, of course, into your life, into your business, because doing things in our own strength usually doesn't turn out very well. And it's usually pretty unfun. And so if you feel like you're struggling right now, or even if you're not, maybe you're on the top of the mountain and you're just going full-fledged ahead, still invite the Lord into your business. Pray over it. Ask him for creative ideas, because you just never know. He can give you supernatural connections. He can, before you post, pray. Or like right after you post, pray and ask the Lord to help the people that need to see it. And I promise, if you move forward with that type of belief and faith, you will be amazed at how God answers prayer. And it's a really fun way to do this business. And really from the get-go, a couple of things that I prayed specifically with that was that God would magnify the hours in my day. And then out of Psalm 90, it talks about God blessing the work of our hands. And so I would specifically pray that the Lord would just bless the work of my hands and multiply our efforts. because I was very limited. I was home with 5 small children at the time, and I was willing to do as much work as I could squeeze into my day, Plexus wise, but I had a lot of other priorities that needed taken care of as well. And so I totally believe this is a doable income stream, and you can build a really amazing business with this while still keeping your main priorities intact. But do it with the Lord, not in your own strength. Okay. All right, ready for homeworks. Okay, here we go. Number 1, get clear on your goals. We've done so many goal setting Zooms and encouragements. So get super duper focused and clear with your goals. I'll have a post on the Momentum Makers group where you guys can chime in your goals. Okay, that way you have accountability for them also. Find out, well, decide yourself, and also find out who on your team wants to earn Cancun. And you need to go message all of your current customers, and you need to message potentials and find out. I mean, the worst they can say is no, they don't want to earn it. But by opening up that conversation, you may end up having more people say yes and go do it than you would have if you wouldn't have asked. Okay. So go figure out who's going to earn Cancun with you. And then I want you to practice. I want you to try this next week. All right. We're going to shoot for a crazy goal. I want you to try to post. I want you to make a commitment. Let me change the verbiage on that. I want you to make a commitment to post 4 times a day for the next week. I promise you won't die. Use the Rally Chat if you have to. And that can look like posts, lives, reels, call to comment posts. I mean, you can get really creative with that. 4 times a day, set your phone alarm, because you're going to be setting a new habit, right? So you're probably not used to thinking about what you're going to post 4 different times a day. But I want you to do that for the next week, and let's just experiment with it. Let's just see what happens. I mean, the best thing that could happen is that people actually come to you saying, I'm seeing what you're posting and I'm interested in what you're doing. Okay. So experiment with it. And also it takes consistency as well. So you can't bank your entire Plexus career on what happens in this next week if you post 4 times a day. It's kind of like eating vegetables for a week. Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't eat vegetables. I didn't lose any weight, right? It takes consistency, but let's just tap in this week. We can do anything for a week, right? 4 posts a day, okay? And then last but not least, I'm going to post a rank up strategy video that Jessica Heffley did. We're getting it back pinned to the top of Momentum Makers group. I'm not sure where it went. It must have disappeared or got deleted from Facebook. But I'm resurrecting that because it is such a phenomenal resource. There's a workbook that you can print out, and there's also the little video. So listen back through that. There's probably some golden nuggets that you can take away by doing that. If you are loving the IPA sheet that you're doing, I'm not saying you just to completely shift what you're doing, but listen, because I'm sure there's some great takeaways that you can really take to heart. And if you are planning to rank up in the next 90 days, I would say it would be worth working through that workbook, because it is so foundational. It's really good to be reminded of your why, reminded of your goals, getting really clear on what you want, because things change and morph and move. Like as you do this, it evolves, right? As you build your business. So good to be just reminded about that. Whew. Okay. All right. This was so good. Kirsten, thank you so much for sharing. Congratulations to everybody that had such amazing wins in August. Looking forward to the next 90 days and cannot wait to see what you guys create this month. Let's go do it. All right. Talk to y'all soon.